Let's rewind time back to E3 2018. Microsoft shows their commitment to enlarging their first-party portfolio by adding 5 new studios: Playground Games, Compulsion Games, The Initiative, Undead Labs, and the most surprising for many of us,
Ninja Theory to Microsoft Studios.
The studio known for many narrative-driven games like Enslaved, Heavenly Sword, DMC Devil May Cry, and last but certainly not least, Hellblade. This acquisition immediately started speculation on what Ninja Theory's first game published by Xbox Game Studios would be. All that we knew was one trademark: Bleeding Edge. Rumors about this game started popping up in May 2019, but it was during that year's E3 press conference that we'd see Ronnie Tucker, lead combat designer on DMC Devil May Cry, come on stage and present something that many of us wouldn't expect from the studio. The E3 2019 trailer showed a colorful universe combined with some heavy action gameplay. A technical alpha was also announced on the same day. I was able to participate in the very first technical alpha of Bleeding Edge, and the game has grown a lot since last July. New maps, refinements to the combat system, new characters, and also the inclusion of a tutorial. Even in its earliest alpha phase, the game had a surprising amount of detail in terms of animations and visual quality, which is worth noting since the game has been in development with just a very small portion of Ninja Theory's team. Now, Bleeding Edge is a player versus player multiplayer arena game. The goal is to beat the opposing team in one of 2 modes: Power Cells and a King of the Hill-like mode called Objective Control. Every character has a distinct set of abilities that fits into the whole class-based gameplay that the game is aiming for. Funnily enough, I found a lot of enjoyment using the healer and support classes while playing. You're definitely able to deal damage, but you can also make or break the flow of battle even as a support. Parrying, dodging, aerial attacks, stunning enemies, all of that in the game and more. You'll definitely need all of that when fighting 1 versus 1, but the game's core is in team coordination when getting into these fights. A well-coordinated assassin, assisted by a support, can definitely outmatch any character. The assassin class, for example, contains 2 very melee-focused characters, Damon and Nidhogger, 2 range-focused characters, Gizmo Maeve, and 1 hybrid character that can pull off both the damaging melee attacks while also having the choice of staying behind the heavies. The game also has a great pinging system, which is very similar to the one in League of Legends. You can ping enemies, special items, or just any location where you want your team to regroup, defend, or attack. Looking at the response on social media and other sites, it does seem like the character designs are really like Marmite. You either love them or you hate them, and I definitely am on the side of really digging the character designs. The idea of having a character that is a mechanical snake controlling an 18th century magician's dead body, or a metalhead with a guitar as his weapon, just feels like dream material to me. In other games like Overwatch or League of Legends, most of the characters are part of different factions that are opposing to other factions. Bleeding Edge is such different in this regard that it is so refreshing to see. The opening cinematic portrays a group of modding enthusiasts who simply want to fight each other in battles to see who has the best mods. It's quite literally just a bunch of friends, which I'm all for. The maps are varied in terms of aesthetic, but often feel a little too big in comparison to your movement speed. There are hoverboards which do allow you to traverse the map quicker, but it never feels quite quick enough. Every map does have a distinct little feature that makes every location feel different though. Jersey Sink, for example, has a train that constantly appears at random during a match. This train has resulted in some amazing situations where you'll laugh no matter whether it's you, your enemy, or your teammate who gets killed. Some maps do feel a lot better depending on whether you're playing Objective Control or Power Cells. The Aqueduct maps, for example, is a giant circle that has one objective constantly moving around. This makes the fight for dominating the objective more fun in comparison to other more stationary objectives. The soundtrack definitely deserves a mention here. The ambient music for the game creates a chilled and inviting atmosphere that transfers to multiplayer battles seamlessly. Here's a quick listen. Every character in the game can be customized in different sort of ways. Throughout your journey, you collect mods which can enhance a passive or active ability of your character. These mods can vary from enhancing your base stats to improving or changing your unique abilities, including your super. This opens up the game for some creative thinking, though as of right now, there's no way to see what mods your opponents are using. And with no ranked mode at launch, it does make me curious how this mode will be implemented and if the mod system will be used or put aside to make sure that the balancing remains tight. You can also customize your character's appearance. Each character has unique skins to choose from, which can be unlocked using one of 2 currencies. Your hoverboards can be customized as well, which includes the board itself but also its trail. There are also emotes to choose, which range from simple taunts to one of the characters pulling out some DDR-like device. Now, I reviewed the game on an Xbox One. Visuals look pretty decent and sometimes surprisingly polished considering the very small number of people who worked on the game. Now, out of the past 10 matches I've played, the performance did drop to the 40 to 50 FPS range in very hectic moments, which often leads to stuttery moments that can break the flow of the game. The PC version of the game is currently locked at 60 FPS due to technical reasons, but it seems to be an overall solid PC version. The game is also enhanced for Xbox One X. The foundation of this game feels solid and makes me optimistic for post-launch support. New characters, new maps, and new modes will definitely keep this game alive. That being said, I think it's fairly obvious that the game won't reach the same heights as something like Overwatch. The game is specifically focused on a very niche audience that is interested in both melee-focused action games and multiplayer PvP experiences. Bleeding Edge isn't the game I expected from Ninja Theory, but definitely the game I wanted to see come out of the studio. Seeing the developer behind DMC go out and create something so creatively different just makes me really happy as someone who is very much part of this niche audience.
Why don't you join us?